Hi, my name is Brian Burkheiser from the band I Prevail, and something a lot of people don't know about me is I suffered a debilitating vocal injury on the road that took me off of basically all of our shows and put me to a point where I thought I would never be able to sing again.
And then you met me.
I did it. Yeah.
My vocal coach is Jaime Vendera, and in 2014 I was in Tokyo, Japan, shattering glass with my voice on a television show when a small shard of glass got stuck in my throat and it led to laryngeal nerve damage. Well, obviously I was scared. I didn't think I would sing again. I didn't think I would teach voice anymore, and the pain was insane, and I didn't know what to do. I went to ENT after ENT, and it wasn't until I found Dr. Ilter, the creator of the DoctorVox device, that I knew that I would find my way back to my voice, and I did. And then, ironically, you had surgery. Mm-hmm. You were off the road, and
a couple months later.
Which album was that? That was like
we were going into Trauma, actually, which is the most recent record we recorded.
That's right, because you were actually recording Trauma, and you called me, and you're like, I'm a little worried.
Going out during studio sessions, and I needed some help, because honestly, getting the vocal surgery was one of the parts that honestly took a ton of inflammation away, took my polyp away, but that's one part of trying to become a better vocalist after going through a traumatic experience like that. The other part is taking yourself seriously and really putting work into your voice, which I knew that I wanted to do, but I had no resources or no tools to even know how I would get started with that, because I was a singer way back in the day who started singing straight out of coming out of high school. So I didn't sing in choir in middle school. I wasn't in a band in high school. I came straight out of high school basically saying, now I want to be a musician. Now I want to be in a band. So I'd never sang before. And for somebody who had his band blow up and kind of have to go on the road immediately, it was a very scary thing to say. I've never had any professional vocal training. I've just hopped in a studio and sang on a mic. So coming off that injury, I knew I needed to find somebody who could help me. And luckily, Jaime, I found him on a YouTube video, and from there on out, it's been, my voice has been money ever since.
Well, it's funny, the YouTube video you found me on, because when we had our first Skype lesson before you flew me to Michigan to work with you for the Trauma record, the first thing I'd said is, hey, Brian, you need to get a DoctorVox. And out of the screen, he lifted his DoctorVox. He's like, you mean this?
I already bought one.
And I'm like, how? How did you know about this? And it made me feel good inside, because you're sitting here saying, you get surgery and that's one thing, but you got to maintain your voice. You got to take care of your voice. You got to take it seriously. I knew you were taking it seriously. As soon as I saw that, I thought, this singer really wants to make a difference in his life and maintain his voice and keep putting out album after album. So we started to work together.
Yep. All about vocal health. That was the first thing that Jaime told me. He's like, anything that you think you're doing right, you're probably doing wrong. So let's try breathing. Let's see how you're breathing while you sing. Instantly, I raised my shoulders and took a big breath, and Jaime says, stop that right there. You are doing it wrong. So basically, I got with Jaime and started course correcting some of the things and bad habits that I developed along the way. But then is really where he showed me this tool called the DoctorVox. And it honestly was a huge game changer for not only my voice in the studio, but for my voice on the road in the future. A funny story going back to while we were in the studio, we were recording a song called Gasoline, which I rap on. It was the first time I had ever rapped on a song before. We probably got into 20, 30 takes of it going through, and instantly my voice turned into this. I was talking like this. And as a band, you're always on deadlines. We had about 14 days to finish the record. I called Jaime freaking out. I said, I need to get this part done now. We have to move on to the next song. I think my voice is going to be gone for the next 3 days. What did Jaime tell me? Jaime said, take your bottle, attach your mask box, put this on, and bubble through it literally for 30 minutes straight. Yeah. Just lightly bubble through it and watch what'll happen. So I did that thinking, all right, this guy's probably crazy. There's no way this is going to instantly heal my voice or get me back to a place that I can record, that night. Blew my mind. 30 minutes later, I called Jaime freaking out saying, my voice is back, holy moly. And then he goes, all right, well, I don't want you to lose your voice again. So now that, your voice back with the DoctorVox, I want you to take the mask box and practice rapping Gasoline into the mask. Get your breath support correct. Make sure you're finding that right place in your mask. All of a sudden, we recorded the thing in probably 2 or 3 takes. My voice sounded great, and my producer said, what on earth did you just do?
Yeah.
I said, I bubbled into this thing, and it took away all the inflammation and all the hoarseness that I had developed instantly disappeared.
Well, I remember you telling me that story because it's not a typical story. I mean, it is a typical story, actually. I've seen it happen so many times with so many singers because when you're using the Vox, you actually have a sound wave coming down to your vocal cords and massaging your vocal cords, and it does reduce inflammation. And I believe you called me back and told me that story about how you couldn't believe how effortless it was for you to sing. And I've worked with artists on the road like 15 minutes before they had to go on stage. I don't know what to do. Well, you do know what to do, but you get nervous. I understand. When your voice is going out, you're on your road. There's so many factors that can affect your voice. But if you would just, think for a minute and grab your Vox and just do 15 minutes of bubbling, just sliding up and down, that will reduce that inflammation. It will get your voice back.
Absolutely. And it gives you a tool to feel like, hey, I have something that I can work on each and every day. It was something Jamie and I laugh about, and I told him this when I initially met him. I walked into a Guitar Center with my band multiple times on tour. In each band member, you'd have the drummer, you'd have the guitarist, you would have, pretty much every guy who has an instrument can walk to their section, find a big old wall, all sorts of things to help you, become a better, whatever you want to be at your craft. Now for the singers, you go to the singer section, there's a couple microphones, there's a couple sprays, but there was no tool to sit there and actually work and improve your voice on the daily. So that's where I started working with this thing every day, because I was a singer. I would be on the road and I would get so in my head on shows where I'd be 3 or 4 songs in and all of a sudden my voice started going hoarse. No singer should ever have to go through that. It is the worst feeling in the world to be performing to multiple people, and all of a sudden you want to sing these notes that you've sang on other nights before, but all of a sudden now they're just not coming out. Nobody wants to feel that all of a sudden while using this, because like I said earlier, the studio, it's amazing for rapping, singing, doing any type of vocal exercise. This can get your voice back to where it needs to be very quickly. But the fact that you can use it on the road and spend 10 minutes before you go on stage warming up, or even, I wake up in the mornings and your voice is always a little groggy. Just bubbling in this 2 or 3 minutes instantly will relieve any tension or any pain that you had. And honestly, it's a complete game changer for all singers. And that's why, Jamie and I decided we wanted to form this team together and really push this out and get this to every singer and speaker and vocalist out there, because it is a product that I truly do think can change the market of singing and make people want to work harder at it. That's one thing. We have warm-ups, we have cool downs. There has always been traditional things you can do while singing, but there's never been a tool to actually hold you accountable. That each day you can say, all right, I used my DoctorVox at a level 3 today. I'm going to try for a level 3.5 tomorrow and see if I can work with more water weight. And that's something I think is one of the biggest factors of the DoctorVox that I enjoy. Outside of all the little things it does for you, just a tool to hold you accountable. The same way a guitarist can practice on the guitar, the same way a pianist can get on a piano and just practice things. Singers, it's not quite as easy for us because we can't sit and just sing for 20 hours straight. You can do that on the piano. You can do that on your guitar. You can, massage your hands and get out the tension. With singing, that's not something you necessarily can do. However, with this product, it will make you last longer and long. The more you use it, the more your voice will strengthen and the longer you'll be able to go in your performances and your practice sessions.
Well, I mean, you hit on a lot of things that come to mind, and some stories. This reminded me of good times. I remember, coming up to Michigan, and you had said to me, Jamie, this was after the injury, after the surgery. He said, look, the highest note on Lifelines is an A. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit that anymore.
I truly didn't think I would be able to easily. It wouldn't have to go down.
We were working with the Mass Box, and we were working on Hurricane.
Yep.
And I said, just go for it. And he's singing the chorus. And for those of you who are musicians who understand notes, he was singing a B4. The high note on Lifelines was A4. He literally raised his pitch. He increased his range by 2 notes in a few hours of working on breathing support placement, me teaching him exercises and incorporating the DoctorVox. It expanded his range. It warmed him up. His voice sounded amazing. He felt amazing. That's the magic of this product. And you said, I like to vary the water. Well, just so you understand, when you're vocalizing through this, it is like a workout tool. It's like taking your voice to the gym. You can change the water level in here. If you want to warm up your voice and be relaxed, you can leave it low. If you want more of a workout to challenge your voice, you can raise it up. And it's like adding weights, like if you're in the gym and you're putting more plates on your barbell. That's the amazing feature of the DoctorVox. And we haven't even talked about the short tube. So it's not just, vocalizing and warming up and increasing your range, improving your tone and singing. If you're feeling dry, you can actually inhale through the short tube to moisturize your vocal cords. So you don't have to worry about feeling dry on stage. And I've been to so many I Prevail concerts, and Brian has us setting up on the drum riser. And I'm sure one of those 30,000 fans are out there thinking, what is that little blue thing up there? And you'll see him, run over and grab it really quick.
A lot of people do think I'm smoking up there, but that's not.
That's not what this is.
No, it is not. It's not a smoking device. This is a singing device that honestly can change the game, I think, for any singer out there. And Jamie, do me a favor. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the science behind this, which involves SOVT therapy?
So SOVT therapy, if you're on the internet and you've typed in SOVT, I'm sure you've seen a million videos or explanations. That is semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. Long story short, to make this really simple, it's just a way to minimize the air coming out as you sing. If we can impede that air, we can create what's known as back pressure, some back pressure down against the vocal cords so that the air coming below the vocal cords, filling that space above, it's more balanced. Once you've balanced the air pressure above and below the vocal cords, it actually releases vocal muscle tension. It's so much easier to sing. So it's like putting your vocal cords in a jacuzzi.
Absolutely. And I think that's the coolest thing is where, yes, I can raise the water level up and really be working on trying to challenge myself and strengthening my voice. But on those days where I just want a nice little vocal massage, you put this at, a 3, a 4, and it'll make your voice feel like you're flying, essentially. And something, too, that will show up here. We actually went to my vocal doctor who performed my surgery, and it's crazy now to see my vocal cords look great. The polyps removed, and he says they look better than ever, and a lot of it is due to this therapy. I mean, I'll never forget when I had my vocal injury, I literally thought I would never sing again. I told myself I didn't want to be in a band. I did not want to be in music. I did not want to do this anymore. I came out of the surgery, and the first thing they had me do was go to a speech pathologist who said, all right, I guess I'll go there. I guess I'll try this. What did she have me do? She had me take a cup of water and put a little tiny straw into it and bubble, just like, your kid blowing into a chocolate milk, blowing bubbles. And I said, whoa. Why did I never see this before? Why did I never hear of this before my vocal injury? Because it really did make my voice feel amazing, and that is the premise of SOVT therapy. Now, this is essentially SOVT on steroids. So the second I used this, I went to my vocal doctor and said, you need to check this out. Like, don't get me wrong, SOVT in general is great, but this is a way to fast track it, make it more compact, and easier for a musician to be able to take around everywhere with you. So we actually recently went into my vocal doctor, got my vocal cords checked while using the bottle, and we'll show some footage up there. But you can see how your vocal cords lightly just, touch each other. When you're using, this device and you're really going through the SOVT method, you're giving it that light, nice massage, and you are just relaxing all of these muscles. Now, again, that's not to say you can't raise the level up and really be working on, almost vocal weightlifting to an extent. But that's the diversity that goes to show what the DoctorVox actually can do.
Yeah, and lax voice therapy has been around for decades. And so I'm used to using a straw and water, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you have the DoctorVox and we have this tiny little pinhole down inside the short tube, as you're vocalizing, you're literally controlling how much air is leaving, and everything else that's bubbling in this water, it's coming back up the slow.
And all that energy.
Yeah, so think about it. If you're using a straw and a cup, all this air is going out the side. You're not encapsulating all that vocal cord vibration. So, or all that.
Losing all of that energy, you're losing all that resonance.
Yeah, so when you're bubbling and you can maximize the amount of back pressure and the amount of vocal cord massage through, something like the DoctorVox, why wouldn't you use this? This is like the next step from lax vox therapy.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, Jamie. Going through that vocal injury was honestly the most traumatic thing of my life. It led to our new album that was called Trauma, literally based off of kind of going through some of those mental and physical struggles. And for someone like me, and I know there are a lot of people out there like this, I had never sang before my band took off. So yes, I was in a local band to start, never took vocal lessons, never really practiced on my, voice. And then all of a sudden I started I Prevail, and I loved all the different elements of getting in the studio and tracking. But obviously you have a producer editing your vocals. I loved practicing, but I wasn't actually hearing myself. I knew I didn't sound great. So then essentially I went into I Prevail, and then it blew up, which was amazing, but also the most terrifying thing, because I had never done live touring before. I'd never gone on a 30-show tour with 5 shows a week, 6 shows a week. You got to wake up for morning interviews and then do a show later on. And that for me was honestly, it was great that the band blew up, but it was very scary as a musician to say, how am I going to do this if I've never practiced before or never had any accountability for myself? So the band took off for about 2 years. I did get through touring with a lot of fits along the way. I won't lie. I mean, I had shows where 5 songs in, my voice went out, and I just had to basically fry my voice and almost turn it into a scream to get anything out. Where I would walk out after a show defeated, feeling like this is not how the album sounds. This is not the musician I want to be. So we went through a couple of years, and I kept having those feelings of, I want to keep working on my voice. I want to keep getting better. I just have no idea where to even start. Then basically the hardest tour a musician can do happened to me. I had to go on Warped Tour, which was, I want to say, a 40-show tour over about 50 days. I'll never forget, we had a stretch of 23 shows in a row. My voice was absolutely caked. I came off that tour thinking, ooh, there might be something wrong, but I didn't have any time to actually look at that because we had a headliner coming up 2 weeks later. I went into that headliner, spent about, I want to say I got through 10 or 15 shows, and that is when I knew something was wrong. I'll never forget being on stage, and I just grabbed my throat and I said, oh my gosh, at this point we were playing to 1,500, 2,000 people a night. So this was something that terrified me, knowing I still have 30 shows left on this tour. How am I going to be able to get through it? I need to go get this checked out. I have to. So I remember spending a night in a hotel room. I mean, I cried my eyes out. I remember how sad I was just due to the fact that I knew something was wrong, and I knew it was due to the fact that I had not been taking care of my voice. I didn't know how to maintain my voice. I did not know about vocal health. So basically, I spent all night in that hotel room knowing I was pretty much probably going to the doctor and he was going to tell me something was wrong. So we drove 3 hours to Detroit. I saw the vocal doctor, and what did he tell me? You have a polyp. We need to get you off the road immediately, and you need to go on vocal rest right now. So as a singer, I really don't think you can experience anything worse than that. And that's why this product is so important to Jamie and I. With both of our injuries and both of our trauma, we never want anybody to go through that. I've seen so many singers I know who they have all of the talent in the world. They are great, great people too, but they don't take care of their voice. And that was who I was before I met you and started using this bottle.
Well, I mean, I remember when we had our first lesson, I know you've been searching. I know you had a couple lessons,
for years,
but nobody was was really helping you. And I know you were defeated. We actually talked about this, and it's scary. And I mean, it happened to me when the glass got in my throat. Luckily, I didn't have nodules or polyps or anything, but there was still damage there that gave me issues. And I was in the same boat. I'm like, what am I going to do? My career is over. And then, of course, I found the DoctorVox as well, and then turned it on to you. And you got to admit, I mean, we actually worked this weekend on songs together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And wow. I mean, the notes you were hitting, the control you had, and it's all from taking your vocal technique seriously, taking care of your voice, using your DoctorVox every single day.
Well, this tool has really helped me develop learning how to breathe, taking big belly breaths, not raising your shoulders up, not tightening up the throat. I mean, this thing has taught me so many different tricks. I mean, obviously, when you go to our website and see how things work, it's not something, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you you're going to bubble into this once and it's instantly going to fix your voice.
That is something as a singer overnight.
Exactly. As a singer, you need to realize you have to put in that work. However, it's just like anything. LeBron James plays basketball. He has all these tools and stuff during practice that he's using before he actually goes into the game. If he sat there and didn't warm up, how is he going to end up going and being the best player in the world? And that's not saying, hey, you got to go be the best singer in the world just because of the DoctorVox. but it will give you those tools and you know, the tips and tricks that we give on the website. I truly do think can help any singer out there, whether you are a very skilled and very developed singer, because there's still many things that this can do for you. Even if you're the best singer in the world, you're an operatic singer who can hit these crazy notes, this can help you maintain it. But if you are like me and you're someone who maybe was not very confident in their voice or knew that they had a good tone but couldn't hold pitch, or all of a sudden their voice would go out 3 songs into a set, this is a product that I truly do think is a magical idea that was come up by the Dr. Dennis Oglu, who developed it. And then, you know, after I met Jamie and started using it, I wouldn't have gotten involved with this company if I didn't truly believe in the results. And I think the results are kind of, the proof is in the pudding when it comes to even my band. Just seeing, we were able to get through over 100 shows in the past couple of years before the pandemic. Like you said, I was being able to hit notes that I currently are now I can hit that beforehand I was never able to hit. And that, again, you're still going to have rough days. You're going to get sick. You're going to have those days that you have to do a TV performance. You had to do a 200-person meet and greet. That is how this bottle is so incredible. After that meet and greet, or even during my meet and greets, just to maintain my voice, I would say, hey, you know, I'd talk to the person in line in between the next person coming in. Instantly just makes my voice that much clearer. Removes any phlegm. I feel like even phlegm that's kind of stuck in there gets that out.
Yeah,
it's so many different benefits.
It's a vocal massage. I mean, it will reduce phlegm. And you don't even have to have an injury. You don't have to have had polyps.
That's a very, very, very good point.
Yeah, or nerve damage. I remember right after my nerve damage, I was teaching in Krakow, Poland for 3 days, and I had this injury and was in extreme pain. But I had just gotten a DoctorVox, and I'm telling you, it was some of the best 3 days of teaching I've ever done with an injury. Nobody knew I was having issues. And by the end of night 3, you know, 3 12-hour days, I'm still, you know, hitting notes and doing crazy things with my voice that, you know, would freak a lot of humans out. And I was fine. So for me, it helps me to maintain my voice and to get over that vocal cord inflammation when my nerve damage is giving me issues. So imagine you're a professional singer, you're a speaker, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, but you're speaking throughout the day and you start to lose your voice and you need something. You can bubble with this for just a couple of minutes and you will start to notice results and you'll be able to continue throughout the day. That's the beauty of DoctorVox.
It absolutely is. And again, you know, I don't want to keep pressing the foot to the pedal, but it's something that I will tell every singer I meet, every green room I am in. Singer will come up to me and say, what is that? They'll see me using it. Obviously, it's not a smoking device. They'll come up and hear me vocalizing through it, and they'll say, I need this thing. Like, what is this? So I tell them SOVT therapy. I tell them I'm part of this company. Try this thing out. It's going to, like, change your voice. They use it for a couple of days, and within, you know, honestly, within a couple hours of them using it, they instantly come to me and they say, this changed, like, the way I sing it. Like, what is going on here? Yes, this is a product that if you have had a polyp, if you've gone through a vocal surgery, even if your voice is just hoarse all the time, it is something that can absolutely work for you. However, if you are just an everyday singer, you're someone in a band, you're somebody in a choir, you are in school learning how to be a singer, this product is an absolute game changer and will maintain your voice. You don't want to go through an injury. You're looking at 2 guys who have gone through them. It is the worst possible thing you can go through. And that's why I'm so, you know, passionate. At the end of the day, the biggest thing Jamie and I want you to know is that your voice has unlimited potential. If you think that you are stuck at a certain note, if you think you can't develop your tone and try, I've heard Jamie sing in so many different ranges and areas. And even it's inspired me to, with I Prevail, you can hear there's rapping on songs. Yep. We have nice, pretty ballads, but then we also have songs where I'm giving a real nice gritty chorus, and this bottle has let me work on that by attaching the mask to it and saying, all right, I'm going to lightly go through these in practice. It allows me to not blow out my voice within singing 5 songs because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I can practice, make sure I'm bearing down, make sure I'm using all the techniques that we go through on the website, and that's what gets your voice to come out perfect.
At the end of the day, get you a DoctorVox.
Get you a DoctorVox and will absolutely change your life, I guarantee it.